India and Thailand share close relationship. They are member of the BIMSTEC grouping, and we have seen high-level interaction taking place between the two countries. Maybe is India's envoy to Thailand to speak about the current COVID crisis and how both the countries are cooperating. Ma'am, welcome to WION. My first question, an obvious one, is how the Indian mission is reaching out to the Indians who are stranded in Thailand. We know in the second phase, India is expected to bring back Indians who are stranded in the country.
Yes, thank you very much. This is indeed something of interest to everybody. We have been reaching out to all the Indians who are here directly and through our social media accounts. We started through two helplines early on, and in early April, we also launched an online portal for registration of Indian nationals who are stranded in Thailand. So we have about 1,600 Indian nationals who have registered themselves on our portal. Of course, not all of them are those who have been stranded. Some of them are also those who have resident visas and would like to go to India back for compelling reasons. So this is the number of people that we have currently interested in going to India. And we have been working very closely with Indian community associations. There are more than 50 to 60 of them who are working very well with different groups of people. And there are those who have needed food, and they have had trouble finding accommodation. So we've helped them through supply of dry rations. For some, we have helped them through supply of cooked food, either through the gurdwaras or the mosque or the temples. They all come in and helped all these people. And in some cases where they are absolutely destitute, we have also from the embassy's funds we have helped these people both in terms of food as well as shelter. That's what we've been doing. In addition, of course, I've done a recorded message, giving the status both here in India as well as in Thailand, and the suggested various remedies and how we can ameliorate the situation here. Then, in addition, we have done a lot of video conference calls, and this extends to everybody, even those in detention centers. For example, we have done VC calls to find out about their welfare. Yesterday, I had a long, detailed VC call with representatives of Indian community organizations, which was also very useful for both sides. As you rightly pointed out, we are now geared for handling our first repatriation flight, which is expected to take place very shortly. And so, as I mentioned, we are working very hard to ensure that it is very successful.
Well, how is New Delhi and Bangkok working together at a time of this global pandemic? Because India has been cooperating under various multilateral forums, and of course through bilaterally also talking about its containment plan. So if you can talk about the bilateral component in terms of how both the countries are fighting this pandemic.
Yes, on the 1st of May, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi had a telephonic talk with the Thai Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha. It was a detailed, telephonic conversation where both sides shared all the steps that they are taking to deal with the COVID pandemic. In addition, of course, both sides spoke about how they can cooperate in the research and development sector, particularly in the medical area. Of course, Prime Minister Modi also assured Thailand that whatever medicines, etc., are needed by Thailand during this time, we would be happy to facilitate it. Our relations are very warm, very historic, very close. The fact that Thailand is a maritime neighbor is a very important aspect of our relationship. So the bilateral relationship, certainly we have underlined all these areas. As you would know, in the ASEAN context, we have offered 1,000 slots for postdoctoral fellowships. And some of these are in cutting-edge areas, including in the area of, for example, targeted drugs, etc., robotics. So this is the time when, Thailand is one of 10 countries which will be facilitated through these postdoctoral fellowships. So we have, brought this to the notice of the Thai side. and we have emphasized that young researchers from both sides could be working on all these areas which would be really of use during this current situation. As far as BIMSTEC is concerned, we have, I think, from Delhi, you would know that Prime Minister has been speaking to the leadership of all the BIMSTEC countries. I'm not aware of whether, as a regional grouping, any initiative is coming up, but definitely bilaterally, we have been in touch with all these countries. SARC, of course, Prime Minister through his initiative had launched this SARC COVID-19 fund, emergency fund, and that has also found mention, in fact, in the UNSCAP. This is a body which is based in Bangkok. So in their report, the UNSCAP report, they mentioned very positively the SARC initiative for launching of an emergency fund. So this is how we've been working bilaterally, primarily as far as Bangkok is concerned, with Thailand, and also through the UN and other agencies in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and how best practices, how countries can learn from each other during these very difficult times that we're all going through.
Ma'am, what is the current situation on the ground in Bangkok? How is things working there in Bangkok? Is it difficult being in Bangkok right now, or is it okay to be in Bangkok? Are you facing any troubles?
Well, fortunately for us, Thailand has, dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic in a very effective manner. So, the total number of cases in this country, if you take the latest statistics, is 3,017 cases in all. This also includes more than 2,900 people who have already recovered. There have been only 56 fatalities so far, and yesterday, in the last 24 hours, there's not been a single case. And in the last 1 week or 10 days or so, they have all been in the single digits. So I think Thailand has been dealing with the pandemic very successfully, and this is also shown on the ground because, of course, there are there was a lockdown and there was a night curfew, but public transport is very much available. All the essential items are fully available, and they are thinking of this already partial opening up. And probably from Monday onwards, there will be even more opening up. So we might see a return to normalcy. It won't be, of course, normal, but it will certainly be, far more than what is happening at the moment. So we are, in fact, in a fortunate situation, I would say. We have not faced any major problems.
But how are the Indian diplomats faring? I mean, is it? Can you go out? I mean, you must be interacting with the Indian community.
Naturally, we have to follow the Thai government's regulations in whatever we are doing, but in no manner have we been constrained in any way. In fact, the Thai government has made it they've been very supportive of anything that we've been able to do. So we've been able to reach out and help to, extend help to all our community members. So we have not been constrained in any way. I have been coming to work every day. My team members, we have divided ourselves into 2 groups. So by rotation, we either work from home or come here. But there's been absolutely no constraints as far as movement or reaching out or doing our daily work is concerned. We are indeed in a very fortunate situation. There were 7 Indian nationals who were affected by COVID, but they've all recovered actually. There was just one long-time resident who was also an Indian passport holder who unfortunately, of course, had comorbidities and passed away. But apart from that, we've not heard of anybody else actually being affected by the COVID-19 virus.
Ma'am, regarding the second phase in which there are Indians who are coming from Thailand to India, can you give a figure how many Indians are expected to come from Thailand who might have registered to come to India, who were stranded for so many days in
yes, the country? So we have 1,600 people who have registered on our portal. So we are expecting at least 7 to 8 repatriation flights outside from Thailand to India. At the moment, we have got notice of 1 flight which has been scheduled already, and we are expecting more flights to be scheduled because this also depends upon the Indian state's concern, because it's all done in consultation by the Ministry of External Affairs in consultation with the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the state's governments concerned, because they all have to be in a fit position to provide the quarantine facilities, because 14 days quarantine is mandatory. So the concerned states have to be willing to accept people from abroad. So we are trying to deal with that situation, and we reached out to everybody. We explained the situation, and most people are understanding and are willing to sort of be patient till this entire process is over.